This is the solution video for section 3.2, problem number 7. All right, so in this section, we're just looking for dy dx. So, or in this case, the derivative. So I'd be looking for g prime. So before I do that, I want to rewrite g of x. All right, so e to the 1 over x. All right, so you would rewrite that as e to the x to the negative first power, right? Remember, 1 over x is x to the negative first. But plus 1 over e to the x, that's actually e to the negative x. So when we take the derivative, we want to make sure we pay attention to that. All right, so now g prime of x. All right, the derivative of g of x. All right, so if I have e to the x to the negative first, the derivative of that would be, once again, e to the x to the negative first times the derivative of x to the negative first, which is negative 1 x to the negative second. Plus, now the derivative of e to the negative x, that would be e to the negative x times the derivative of negative x, which is negative 1. So now we would probably just clean it up a little bit. All right, so e to the x to the negative first, that's e to the 1 over x, just like it was originally. And then I've got the times negative 1 x to the negative second. So I can put the negative in front, and then instead of x to the negative second, I can divide by x squared. Then I have e to the negative x times negative 1, so minus e to the negative x. But remember, that would be minus 1 over e to the x. Now, if I have it like this, we might not see that on the answer sheet either. So we could potentially want to get a common denominator, which would mean I would have to multiply the first fraction by e to the x over e to the x, and the second fraction by x squared over x squared. So potentially you could have an answer that looks like this. Negative e to the 1 over x times e to the x minus x squared over x squared e to the x. So you might have that as your answer. Now, one other thing to remember, if I have e to the 1 over x times e to the x, I could actually rewrite that as e to the, remember, what do you do with these powers here? You would actually add them. 1 over x plus x, and then minus x squared, and then all over x squared e to the x.